Hey friends, and welcome back to Stronger Every Day. My name is Chrissy. It is great to be with you all. So today I thought we could talk about how to help someone who you know is struggling with depression and or anxiety and what that looks like. So not only is it difficult for the person who's going through the depression and anxiety, but sometimes it can be hard for family because it's in our nature to want to help and make things better. And sometimes we do or say things that don't make it better. And that's certainly not coming from a mean-spirited place. It just sometimes happens. So I wanted to talk about what it's like living with depression and anxiety, and then ways that you can help as someone that you love is going through that. So for me, living with depression and anxiety, I've been very open that I struggled for almost 28 years with depression and anxiety. I had major depressive disorder and anxiety, and I have been on and off medicine for most all of that time, on but some off. I had went to therapy, several different therapists. I had tried all the things and it just didn't seem to be working or helping. And what was even harder is that I tried to hide it from everybody that I knew, but obviously Nick knew something was wrong, and a couple other people knew something was just not quite right, but had no idea how to help me, how to not take it personal and internalize it thinking that it was them that was doing something. For me, it was just trying to maintain. It was just trying to make it through the day, minute by minute, second by second, hour by hour, just to make it through the day. And that's pretty much where my focus was. I read a quote the other day, and I have it on my phone because I wanted to share it with y'all. I don't know who this came from, but it says, "Some of us never had the time to be happy because we're too busy staying strong." And yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. When people say, "What do you do for fun?" I struggle with an answer to that. I've not had a lot of time to decide what I want to do for fun. I've had a lifetime of trying to learn how to survive one day to the next when every ounce of me did not want to. And so it's been hard, and I know that it was hard for Nick to sit back and watch, thinking, am I doing something that's upsetting her? Is someone else doing something that's upsetting her? And obviously we're all human, right? And so there's things in life that happen that cause things to be worse, but the day in and day out of my depression and my anxiety had nothing to do with Nick, or anyone else for that matter. It was an internal thing that I had to deal with and move through, and always wondering why I had to suffer like this. Obviously I had prayed multiple times, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, for God to take this from me and help me, and he chose a different path for me, which led me here to you all. So what can you do when someone you love is struggling with depression and anxiety? What I would highly encourage you to do, first and foremost, is pray for them. You cannot change their circumstances. I want to, as Nick's wife, do things that make him happy, that make him smile, but I am not responsible for Nick's happiness and joy. Nick is, right? The same with me. He wants to do things every day to make me happy and make me smile, but he's not responsible for my happiness and my joy. I am. And you can't make someone pay you back for something they never did. You know, so many times we were hurt early in life, or maybe throughout most of our early life, and we try to make people that we love now kind of pay us back like they owe us something. They didn't cause that trauma, right? So they don't owe us anything. It's understanding that, you know, when I left home, my problems didn't go away. They went with me. It just got me out of the circumstance and situation that I didn't need to be in anymore. But I wasn't healing yet, right? And what has worked best for me is knowing that when people say, hey, I'm praying for you, I love you, I care about you, you're in my prayers, it's something I pray about all the time. Hey, I was praying last night, you know, how are you feeling today? And knowing that that person's actually praying for me. Something about that makes me feel better internally. And there's times that I promise you, I can feel that someone has to be praying for me because of just the way that I feel. And I don't know if that sounds funny, but there's just something that I just think somebody's praying right now for me, right? Like my mood shifted for no real reason at all. It's praying for them. But here's the thing. Prayer is huge and prayer is important because we're talking with God about helping, right? We're talking with God about making things better or easier, or making us feel more capable of making through hard times, whether he chooses to lift those or not, helping us get through them, right? From the beginning through the middle into the end. And so trying to be positive around them, not fake, because that's very obvious when someone's trying to tiptoe around you or be fake. But maybe the person that's struggling with depression and anxiety doesn't need to know the pettiness that's going on or the drama per se that's going on, that honestly in 5 minutes or 5 months is not going to matter to anyone, right? Trying to stay a little bit more on the positive side and trying to look at a situation and finding a positive outcome instead of a negative one. Reminding that person that they're loved, that you love them, that you care about them, that they're important, that their life matters, that it would be hard without them. That's important. And it's not boosting or building an ego. It's letting them know their worth, their value, that it's seen in other people. For me, that's a gift. I can typically see people's worth and value. However, the curse of that is I typically don't see mine. And this December will be 3 years. So December 2026 will be 3 years. We've been doing this channel for 2.5 at this point. And there's times I feel like, am I doing any good? Am I actually helping anyone? Am I making a difference? Is anything I'm doing, does it matter? And then one of you all will just say thank you. Even sometimes you tell me your whole story and I love that, but sometimes it's just a thank you, and that lets me know that even for just that moment that mattered to somebody and it helped somebody. It's not comfortable for me to be 100% open and transparent and let everyone know that after all the years of trying to hide it, that I've struggled with depression and anxiety, that I still struggle with anxiety. And I have mild bouts of depression occasionally, but for the most part, my depression has lifted. I'm in a better place and I can fight that off easier, but it took a long time to get there. Another thing is being willing just listen to what that person is telling you and what they're saying. Sometimes we don't need someone to fix it. We just need someone to talk to. We just need someone to relay what is going on in our mind. And as someone who has struggled with depression and anxiety, those thoughts are on repeat and just over and over, and hundreds of times you're thinking those same thoughts. So sometimes it feels good to get them out, but then it makes you not want to do that anymore when you're getting judgment back from what you're saying. I'm not saying don't be honest and truthful with someone. Have wisdom and grace in what you say and how you say it back to them. And honestly, you don't have to have an answer for everything. Simply just being there and listening is enough. The other thing is, and again, not in a fake way, but try to have a little bit more of a upbeat attitude, right? If you're also downtrodden, and I'm not saying that you both can't be there for each other, but if it's a particularly bad day, that might not be the best time to have kind of the negative Nelly attitude, right? So being wise, using wisdom, being loving and encouraging are all really good things to do. Talking to them, you know, if they're taking medication and you're aware that they're taking medication, you know, have you talked to your doctor? Maybe that needs to change. You know, how about, you know, how's your eating habits doing? Or, you know, how's the water intake? Not that you're trying to pinpoint a problem, like blaming them. Well, you're feeling this way because of all this. But a lot of times when you're struggling with depression and anxiety, what you eat, you could care less if it's a bag of chips and a soda, right? But we need nourishing, healthy foods to help our body and our mind be at its optimum level. And sometimes we forget that. And I'll be honest, sometimes it's hard because you want to say, you know, hey, let me fix you you could say this, hey, let me fix you a meal. Or let me take you to dinner and go to a good restaurant and get them something good and healthy to eat. Or fix them something healthy to eat. A lot of times self-care kind of goes out of the window for somebody who's struggling with depression and anxiety. So just try to be positive and make sure that they're taking care of themselves, and that, you know, maybe you see something that needs to be done and you can do it. That's one of my favorite things, is it makes me feel the best version of me when I can do something for someone else, and hopefully without them having to ask for it. And that's God nudging me along, because while I wear my heart on my sleeve kind of person, it's not in my wheelhouse. I don't want to overstep a boundary. It's like this. I used this as an example the other day. In your household, my husband does the trash. I don't want to have to ask him to take the trash out. I want him to be grown and look at the trash and see that it's at the top and take it out and put a new bag in. And he does that, and I appreciate that. He does it without me having to ask, and I appreciate the thought. So sometimes it's just doing those little things like, well, you know, she's been pretty down lately. Let me take her to a movie, or take her out to eat, or mow her grass, or take the trash, you know, to the dump, or whatever that might look like. Take it out to the curb, depending on where you live. Just simple things that may not even be money, that may not even cost you money. Just a little bit of your time can be a huge difference, and it can really lift someone's spirits. And I think we so much, we want to fix it. We want to fix them. We want to do and say the exact right thing that's going to fix them and make them better in a snap. And they're just going to forget all of this, and they're just going to be better. And that's understandable. We're human. We want to help each other. But a lot of times what I needed was just someone to listen with a positive attitude and just give me some encouragement without judgment. And sometimes it's thinking through our response. Like, just because I say something doesn't mean you have to automatically have a response. A really good friend of mine told me that his dad had told him, he said, son, a lot of times I've found that the thing I regret the most is when I spoke too soon and in haste. Whereas if I took a second to think about a response before I just blurted out whatever came in my mind, everything seemed to go over better than when I just went with my gut instinct and blurted out something. And that stuck with me all this time. Just, you know, when someone tells you, you know, that they're hurting, or they're this or they're that, just taking a second and comprehending that, and then seeing where God's putting you, what he's putting for you to say, if that makes sense. Another thing is, we've kind of already touched this, but make plans. And so sometimes this is bad for me. I will get anxiety about far out plans. So sometimes it's better to just call like the evening of and say, hey, how about we go eat in a couple hours? Sometimes I handle it better. Sometimes I need advance notice. You know, whoever you're curious about, and knowing, getting them out, making some plans with them, being patient with them. It's hard sometimes because when you're in depression, when you're in the throes of depression and anxiety, your brain is functioning at a different level than someone who is not. So when they say, you know, I just feel like everything is just dark, and that I'm worthless, and that there's nothing good that comes of me, and nothing good, I don't do anything good, I'm just worthless. And you're thinking, are you insane? Like you know, you do so much for so many people, but you have to understand your brain and their brain, they're completely different atmospheres at the time. And so when you're in the depths of depression and anxiety, you're not seeing as clear as maybe you would if you weren't there. And so sometimes just being patient and realizing that if you know, just give them some time, give them a couple days and let them think about things, and then be supportive and be there for them. You know, try. And that's the thing. Everybody wants to have followers and friends on social media, right? Those aren't your friends. Those mostly are people who just want to be nosy and have ammo to use against you in a later conversation. Friends, the term has been just destroyed with social media. It's all about, well, I have 1,300 friends or I have 4,700 friends. No, you don't. Who do you actually have that if you need something, you can call them, know their number, know their date of birth without looking it up on a social media app or looking it up in your contacts? We've gotten so far away from that it's extremely sad. We don't know how to have conversations anymore. We don't know how to communicate with people anymore because we're not used to face-to-face conversations. We're used to face-to-phone, face-to iPad, face-to whatever device that you're using, sitting behind a keyboard and typing horrible things that you would never say. You would never have the courage or the guts to say to someone's face. All of those things, it's really, I think, contributed greatly to the severity of depression and anxiety being just astronomically high in 2025. The lack of spending time with God and spending time in the Word and having a relationship with Him, both of those, I think, have contributed to the severe depression. What we expect, I told Nick the other day, I struggle so hard with this that, okay, you should get 8 hours sleep every night. You should work out 30 minutes to an hour. You should study, whether that be 30 minutes or an hour. You need to cook everything from scratch, do your own sourdough, grow your, you know, have your own animals outside that you harvest, plant your own garden, preserve all your own foods. You need to be the perfect wife. You need to be in the PTA. You need to be, you know, helping with all of the things. You need to be the sports mom or the sports dad, and then you need to be the band mom or the band dad, and then, and oh, by the way, you work 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week or 80 hours a week. When are you supposed to fit all of this in? There is no place to fit it. I watch a ton of people on YouTube and I love them all. Their life and mine is very different. My life and yours may be very different. I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I work full-time. Nick works full-time. We have a homestead. We have 31 chickens, 4 goats. We have 6 dogs and a cat. Most of our dogs are sick. We have one with a heart tumor. We have one that's almost deaf and blind and has bladder issues and a neck dislocated. We have another one who's limping and can't put weight on her foot. We have older goats that are getting older. Our cat is getting older. All of the things. Nick's been sick since April of 2024. All of those things. So it's taking all that into consideration and thinking things through. Friends, I hope this video helps. I end every video this way. It's always my heart and hope that you feel this last part, and that is this: God loves you. I love you. Your friends, your family love you, and we need you here. We'll see you in the next one, friends. Bye.